Oh boy, oh boy,
Be
oh
my
boy.
hickory.
That, you could have one piece of steel, it's that.
Cool.
That's what's in the bag are the pieces of steel you have to have
Right.
to even live out there. Don't get me going on that, man. Yeah, because I'm an Iron Age guy.
Piece of cedar.
Totally Iron Age.
Do you mind if I pick through this real quick?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just
go
opening
for
it up all of a
Yep.
sudden. Okay.
Yeah, set them out to check them out.
Yeah.
There's the crooked knife.
That's
Gordon made that for me. Gearhart, it goes like this.
oh, okay.
Just hand
Right.
up this way, yeah.
Right.
Tony, have you ever been in Gordon's shop?
I have not.
Gordon's an old buddy of mine too. So that's a nomadic draw knife. You got a clamp and then you have this.
Uh-huh.
So when I'm cranking out all these ribs and stuff, I have a shop and I have
I love the weight on this.
oh boy, 2-pound head,
Perfect.
2-foot handle.
Feels so good in your hand.
You could gut the deer with it.
Yeah.
I could make a bow with that.
Uh-huh.
But I'd rather have some knives and stuff as well. But you need that to get the raw materials.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just the handiest design I've never. Yeah.
Cool. You brought a lot of stuff.
No.
Well, not a lot of stuff. You brought a lot of hand tools.
That kit there would like to come with me on every canoe trip because you could make
Here,
another
I'll just
paddle. You could
Give that.
you could make another canoe. Mm-hmm. You know, you could patch your boat, whatever. You could
Right.
right on site. That's what I like about the bark bows.
They're easy to fix in the field. Or not easy, but they can be fixed in the field.
Yeah, that's the only boat that you could make right on the side of the river and
Yeah.
keep going.
Right.
Yeah, how about that?
How long have you been doing birch bark canoes?
Since the turn of the century. How about that? Something like, well, tell you what, the day I left home when I was 18, or whatever that was, then moved out to camp and immediately started building a canoe, which I didn't know my ass from a hole in the ground, so I didn't know what I was doing. I tried carving some pieces, and I realized how far, because I wanted to do a big canoe trip up to Labrador, and I thought, I make a canoe for that. Well, it doesn't work like that. You got to spend a lifetime, get the skills first, then you can build one.
When did you first have the thought that you wanted to build a birch bark canoe?
When I was about 16, when I started to realize that my future was to be in the big woods. 'Cause my folks were not in the big woods; they were in farmland.
What was the initial inkling when you were 16?
Oh, just that I've always been that way. You know, the kid that was always gonna head out there.
Yeah.
That was my safe place.
Okay.
You know, the place I like to do things.
Had you read about birch bark canoes, or like where did you originally hear about them when you first heard about them?
Yeah, you just learn history. You're gonna know that there's birch bark canoes around, and that was the way to get around. That's the only watercraft you could make
Yeah.
in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So I just knew that I was going to have to do that.
It was your transportation.
It was going to be.
Yeah. It was going to be.
Yeah,
And it
'cause
took
I'm
you
moving-
16. So
Definitely moving into that lifestyle
yeah. And that's the trajectory you've been on.
my whole life.
Yeah.
It's nice to inhabit your dreams.
Right.
Don't bother with anything else.
Yeah. If we could all live like that. eh?
Well, you can, but you're going to have to be different.
Mm-hmm.
You might be hungry, but being skinny is its own reward, especially nowadays. Keeps you hungry.
That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
an interesting outlook on it. So where are you from originally?
Originally born in Detroit,
Yeah.
down in Babylon, and Dad working with the auto company, so they had a new tech center out in Warren, which was farm country at the time.
Uh-huh.
So he moved out there, and then years later Dad gets a raise so he can move out, because now Warren isn't rural anymore. It's all subdivided. It's
Yep.
like a little city. So, move another 20 miles or out of town.
Uh-huh.
So all my life I've watched the world get paved and bulldozed into subdivisions or city stuff.
And you've just been pushed further out.
Yeah, I'm
Basically.
a refugee.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Of the city.
Well, a refugee trying to get out away from that.
Right. Moving in that direction, moving in the out direction.
Always.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you're seeking wilderness,
Always. Room to roam.
room to roam.
Want to hear the buffalo roam.
Uh-huh.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Let's see. So when did you move to the UP?
Back in the 80s. Feel like early 80s. I don't know. Something like that. Where we currently are, we moved in 88. But we had been like 100 miles from there in a community situation
Yeah.
for a few years there.
In Michigan.
It's right on the border with Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
We've always been, since we left home, we've been communal. My sweetie and I
Yeah.
been communal. She's used to do sort of urban communal things down in London when she was in college.
Right. Because she's from the UK.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming to the studio.
Thanks for bringing me up to speed in the modern age here.
We were talking earlier, like your phone. I asked you if you'd ever think about getting a smartphone, and you said, "What did you say?" You were like, "You got time for that?"
It's too complicated. All I want is a phone. And the memorization it takes to get the thing to do what you want takes more time than I want to give something that I already have a phone that works.
Yeah.
You know, as long as it's in my little phone booth in the cabin that is with the amplifier and the wind's blowing the right way.
And so you save time by not having to mess with that, and you can utilize it elsewhere.
I just love doing what I'm doing. I keep wanting to chase it more and more. So, yeah, anything that takes me away from that,
Yep.
unless it's grandchildren or friends, or music,
Right.
or another canoe trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else going to motivate you? A ski trip, maybe? Camp out? Yeah. Fishing?
Yeah. Actually, I think that's the first time I met you. This is becoming a theme. Was out at winter camp. I remember
You out at Marv's camp?
Yeah. Yep. I remember you and the Zenders catching fish on Lower Baraga.
Mm-hmm.
And there being camp there. I believe that was between Lower and Upper when we had camp there, and
Yeah.
a couple different spots have had camps at
Yeah,
different
all
spots.
through there.
But
Many camps
that's
over
the first
years.
time I ever met you.
Every winter we do that. We used to start off doing it just with open fire camp, you know, bunch of poles, throw some tarps on it, big fire in there.
Yeah.
Just sleep with blankets so your nylon sleeping bag doesn't melt onto your body. Yeah. But after one trip when it was like 30 below blizzard for the whole week we were there, then the kids and their sweetie pies were like, let's get one of those let's get one of those wall tents.
Yeah. Just made sense.
Well, not to Jan and I, but we cave in, you know,
Yeah,
we're just guys. We're going to do what the family wants.
Yeah.
You know, sure.
Yeah. The modern amenity of a camp.
So we went in together and bought the 16-foot diameter wall tent. It could sleep 10. And the groovy little stove that goes on a toboggan kind
Is that Egyptian cotton? Is that one?
Yes.
And
And
I
then
think I've slept in that tent. I've been in that tent.
yeah, it's a beauty. But it's big, and it's a pyramid tent, which is a real pain with the stovepipe. I'd like a different stovepipe configuration. Having made tent now, you know, in the one that Marv's got, where you can just have a straight piece of pipe, no elbows, no nothing. You
Yeah.
can, and it stacks. You know, you can take it apart, fit it in easy.
Right.
Elbows aren't worth the hassle.
Yeah.
It's like trying to learn how to use a phone. It's like, why am I?
Simplify life.
We can do better than this.
Yeah. Your skis are memorable, as well as your pole.
The lurk.
That's what you call your pole.
Well, that's the old Norwegian word
Oh,
for
okay.
the original ski pole. the double light poles that are, easily breakable are for racing,
Sure.
for people who were skiing for a living or just traveling around.
Yeah.
It was always a lurk.
A lurk is a single pole.
Yeah, and pretty unbreakable.
Longer typically.
So as long as you,
Yeah.
little basket kind of thing.
Right.
But it's a lifesaver,
Why's that?
because if you're going down the hill and it's a mountain and there's a cliff right there and you got to turn to save your life, you can turn right on your lurk. You just
Oh.
put that down and you'll turn right onto it.
Yeah.
Whereas with your double pole system, unless you're an expert telemark turner, which you guys all are,
I
but
pretend.
I've got broken bones and stuff down there, so I can only do that on one side. The other side just doesn't go.
Interesting.
So the lurk saves my life all
Sure.
the time.
Sure. Yeah. What do they call that? When you're like doing mountain. Help me, Brandon. No, when you're like trying to prevent yourself from falling down the mountain and you have to use your ice axe, self-arrest. That's like
There's
you're
the word,
basically
yes.
talking about like self-arrest. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
Yeah.
And when you fall down and your feet are up and you're down in 5 feet of snow and there's no trees to grab,
Yeah.
then you have your tree within your hand. And another thing, when you get old working hands, they don't like to be above your heart for very long. They go to sleep. Double poles keep both hands working all the time, so they both go to sleep. With the lurk, this hand can relax,
Sure,
wake up,
sure,
get nice and warm again.
sure.
And
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You're not ripping downhill telly turns with the lurk though.
I like to go. I like gravity to do the work.
yeah.
I don't want to have to do any work.
Totally.
I like to be cold when I get to the bottom of the hill.
Sure. Sure.
So you guys will do 2 runs in my one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. We were talking Ojibwe words earlier too. Wawashkashi. What did you say the slang is now for Wawashkashi?
Well, you drop off the front and the back, so you just have washkesh.
Yeah.
That's everybody knows what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
It's just not the old time, because a lot of the old words are so old and they get the meaning is lost in time, even especially place names and stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and they get changed. Like we were talking too about the file names on certain files were not matching up with what you have in terms of like canoe photos.
Right. Who's writing the place name?
The place names, all sorts of stuff can get lost based on translation, and what you would like Ishpeming in Nagani, right? Ishpeming means a high place,
High ground,
high ground, or like.
Well, it doesn't have to be ground. It just and ing means it's a place, so it will be a place and it's going to be high.
Yeah.
If missionaries would like to, they would say that could be heaven.
Yeah.
But that that's not on to earth, so I don't know if it. That was the word that was used for that.
Nagani too, pioneer. They're like,
well, it means you go first.
Person, or like, you go first.
You break trail.
Yeah,
snowshoe trail.
Yeah. So how do you like, everybody's got their little interpretation, maybe slightly, or there's like one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Language is very personal.
Yeah.
And to try to codify it, have dictionaries. I mean, they're useful, but they're also get left behind as the language keeps going.
Yeah. How's your Scrabble? Do you?
I play Scrabble to be
dabble?
sociable. I like to get paid for thinking that hard.
Uh-huh. I'm sorry, I just laughed right into the mic, but that's just
it's true.
Back to that
because
same theme.
I'm problem solving all day, every day. That's what I do. So when at the end of the day, that's the last thing I want to do.
What's a day in the life look like?
Wake up in the morning and triage what is the first thing that has to be taken care of. Mm-hmm. You got to split a bunch of firewood because it's outside and it's going to rain. Something needs to be hauled in because it's going to snow. Mm-hmm. The larder is empty, so you have to hunt, or maybe you got to go check your trap line. Or the list is endless. It could, and one thing leads to another. You start fixing one thing. This thing's broke. Everybody's bringing all your broken things, so you go through that. What's the order of import? How
Yeah.
important is always, there's a triage, just like an emergency.
Does your masonry heater, you have to light a fire every morning?
Yeah, every 12 hours once the winter gets going.
Yeah.
One during breakfast and another fire probably after dinner. So you can maybe have them 12 hours apart.
Yeah.
And then the heat cycle overlaps nicely
Yeah.
because it takes, say 8 hours for it to get going. You know, because you got brick, masonry mass.
Yeah.
It could be stone or whatever. You know, we have a brick one, the modern version. But if you lap it every 12 hours, then it's always staying pretty much at the peak heat, which is very handy.
Sure.
And then you can put a cast iron kettle in the firebox because the firebox burns out and it only burns for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's all done, you shut the damper and the draft and the whole thing. There's no more flame in the house, and the heat's all inside your thermal. You know, it's like having a pickup truck that's heated up and set in your house. It'll stay warm a while.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight.
Yeah. Holds the heat.
And that's Stone Age technology.
Mm-hmm.
They used to make them out of soapstone and back in Northern Europe and in even into the Siberia out that way. And they had simpler ones. Even the sweat lodges were that way. When people were settling down, instead of having a nomadic sweat lodge, they would have a sauna. It's just a sweat lodge for people who aren't moving around anymore, so you can have a permanent one. And they would just make a pile of rocks that would lay your rocks in such a way that there's a fire space in there, and then the fire goes through the stone. Maybe have a vent in the top of the sauna.
How many people did it fit? Would you figure probably build them pretty small and keep them tight?
Yeah.
Keep them tight.
And it'd be log construction. It'd be tight, be dark, be insulated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even some of the old Finns I've met years ago, they say, oh yeah, you make a big U of rocks on the ground, lay some old fence posts across, throw a bunch more rocks on top. Don't use any of the sedimentary stones because they'll explode and disintegrate. You want some metamorphic granite and stuff like that. And then leave the door open. They didn't even have a vent. They just leave the door open. And all day long on Saturday, they'd have the smallest kid in the house could go under the smoke level and throw wood in there.
Stoke the fire.
Yeah. And then the end of the day, when everybody was ready to go in the sauna, maybe shovel out any coals.
Yeah.
And then everybody goes in groups, taking turns, go in there and get their weekly sweat.
Sure.
How good is that?
I do like me a good sauna.
It keeps us alive.
I was just asked recently, what hobbies do you have? And one of them was lighting the sauna and taking a sauna.
Lighting fires is definitely a hobby. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, some people are pyromaniacs.
Well, I don't. Well, I mean, I'd probably light anywhere from 4 to 6 a day. Say most days, and the hottest summer day might be 2.
Yeah.
So you get into it.
Right.
What's the materials available? How dry are they? What do you got? You know. What do you have in storage? What have you kept dry?
What have you planned for?
Right, did you just show up here this morning and it's been raining for 3 days, or are you at home?
Yeah. Yeah.
All the above.
How long have you been living in the Northwoods?
Current location for 38 years this year.
Completely off grid.
Yeah, off-road, walk in. Yeah. Little few solar panels, lights and music.
Yep.
Charge your Milwaukee batteries for a couple of things, you know.
Yeah. Music's always good.
First.
You got tapes, hey? I feel like I
Yeah,
remember
huge tape collection.
Yeah.
Cassette tapes last forever. DVDs, everything else doesn't last. Everything since then doesn't last as long. You know?
Tapes are solid.
That seems to be the longest lasting
Yeah.
medium.
Yeah.
I like it.
I
I got
tapes.
CDs now too, of course.
Sure.
That's a newer thing. But once that was left behind, then I got left behind.
I was
Streaming and stuff. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just thinking about there's a story of Cyrus Bentley having a music player at White Deer Lake camp, and it was this big horn thing, and they would play records, and then they would shoot that horn out over White Deer Lake, and it would echo. It used to be called Fortress Lake. It would echo off the rock wall and would create sort of like an ambiance in the evening, and it would be, like a stadium, or what am I trying to say, like a
sound chamber.
Yeah.
Travel across the water.
Can you imagine what that would be like to play music off the lake like that?
And what kind of music did they have back then, too?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I spent the winter before last reading your...
Spirit Heartland?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I revel in those stories that take place in paradise. It's nice.
Yeah.
The old Bentley Trail's been resurrected.
Yeah, I just got a hold of Wade Sari. Do you know Wade?
The boy.
Yes.
I've met him, but I don't know.
Yeah, and Kathleen Reedholm, I've been in contact with her, and the work that they're doing is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Like you're resurrecting it, bringing it to life again.
Sure.
Which is...
And it has such a strange story.
It can't go the whole route, obviously.
Well, it'd be for rich people to walk back and forth from the... Yeah, what an idea.
Fascinated by all that.
And wide enough that you don't have to worry about brush or maybe getting wet if it was rainy.
They'd use an umbrella. They wanted it as wide as the skirts and as tall as the umbrella. When I was cutting trail, I'm 6'3".
There you go.
I always thought about that like when I was cutting trail, if I had a machete, I wanted to like get all the limbs here because most people aren't as tall as me, and so if I can get the limbs, if the trail's already cleared and I'm just now like pruning it, I can make it so that you can walk very comfortably through it if you're shorter than me.
And when it's wet and all the stuff comes down, if that doesn't rub on you, you'll stay drier longer.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when it's like wet out and you're going through thimbleberry bush.
Oh, yeah.
Or
ferns.
Like,
you name it.
Yeah. Right.
And if it's cold and wet and you're skinny, then you have to pay attention.
Totally. Yeah, it can get dangerous quick.
Yeah, I can generate heat, but I can't keep it. I don't get to own it for long.
Yeah, same. I like layers.
Yeah, save your life.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Birch bark canoes. We were talking about birch bark canoes too, and is that how you make a living?
It's one of the money spinners. You live like we do, we're going to have several baskets.
Sure.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Maybe have a couple eggs in each basket.
Yeah.
The gorilla's going to sit on some baskets, so you need to be nimble that way.
Right.
Got to keep paying your taxes.
Yeah.
If you want to stay home.
Yeah.
So canoes are one of my favorite things.
Sure.
It's nice work if you can get it.
And then the wilderness herbs.
Yeah, there's another one. That's more Victoria's bag.
Yeah.
She started doing that when we got in the family way back in the day with diaper rash and all that. So she had to start whipping up some things. She comes from a real horticultural background, with mom and her gardening and stuff like that.
How did you two meet?
She's hitchhiking across the country, visiting communes, and I was living down the road from a farm that raised vegetables for a soup kitchen in Detroit.
Okay.
And I used to go down there, buy hay or whatever, and met these folks down there. And I soon noticed that there was people my age coming from all over the planet would come and stay, work on the farm for a while, and then maybe work in a soup kitchen, and then travel onwards.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were girls my age, so that
there you go.
Made me pay attention that every time I heard someone's coming through, then me and my brother would be down there, ride our horses down, check out to see who's showing up.
Nice.
Yeah, and Victoria was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. She's from Wales?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah.
And you go visit there sometimes.
Oh yeah, we visit. Her sister still lives over there.
What do you think of England and that country, Wales,
Think of
the
it
UK
as
in general?
the same surface area. The UK, that includes Northern Ireland, Scotland. Remember, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland are reservations for the losers, just like the reservations here for the Indians who lost everything
Yeah.
through war and all of that. Well, that game's been going on. That's like one of the last places in Europe where there's reservations.
It's wild to think about it like that.
There aren't
I mean,
any.
You don't hear that sort of.
There aren't
perspective
any
like
of
that
those.
very often.
There's some Sami land and stuff up in northern Scandinavia there, but because the UK, those islands, that's the farthest away. So that's
Sure.
why the Celts and stuff, that they kept getting pushed and pushed, and finally they held them off here. They still lost it. The form of government. They had a king set on top of them, Prince of Wales kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they still had their own homeland. Of course, they don't own the best real estate and the best farmland and that kind of stuff. That all got swindled out.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, but because they're getting their language back, so the signs are bilingual.
The Welsh.
You can hear Welsh everywhere. Oh, it's lovely to.
Yeah.
It's the land of song. Everybody sings. The language sounds like you're singing.
Yeah. Cool. We were talking about the onomatopoeia in Ojibwe. What was the bird? Wawa is like.
Well, would be like geese, generic geese, and that's the wings. When you see them flying by up in formation, you can see the on off of the light of the reflection of the white feathers. Same with like a deer tail going up, and the predator's following it, and then the deer can throw the tail down
Yeah.
and jump 90 degrees, and then the predators, they're still thinking that keep going.
How do you say geese?
Wah wah, way way.
That's it. That's the word for geese.
Yeah, and if you're talking about, for example, like Canadian geese. In formation, we'd say Nakan, because there's a leader and they're all following. It's like you say for all my relations, we talk about all your ancestors and the kind of Gana you're calling on them. Then that's all the ones that you're standing on the shoulders of all the way back to the beginning of time.
Your heritage.
Yeah,
And
we don't.
everyone.
We wouldn't have a life if they didn't have their life, and they didn't have all the way,
Yeah.
all the way back.
Yeah.
Lovely idea.
That perspective taking is.
It's good to remember all the time. Every single thing we've got, everything we know, the way we think, it's all because of their success. So that's a lot of honor for that we're just for us to have the life that we enjoy, which is a pretty fabulous life here, is because of that.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I have photos of my grandfathers on the wall.
I love that.
Yeah.
Especially like the good old days, which is no BS. Life was better as far as there being more of everything.
Yeah. More in abundance.
Yes.
There's less now.
When I was young, there was 3 billion humans on Earth, and I think it's up to 8 billion now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's
pretty fast.
Wild. Yeah. And I used to teach population geography. And so
I love that.
When you talk about billions of people,
1,000 million.
it's difficult. Caveman and I were just talking about this. It's difficult to comprehend those large of numbers. When you go to a city, sometimes you can kind of tell, but across the planet.
Maps, you look at a city and you think of people piled up, humans, so deep.
Yeah.
It reminds me
Densely
of
populated.
those colony insects.
Yeah. I bet from space it kind of looks like that. I mean, it does. Like if you
Sure.
look at like the lights. Have you ever
Well-
seen the image of the Earth from space?
I have
at
a
night?
whole book of lots of those images. I
Yeah.
love that stuff.
Yeah.
I love to look at geography from the air,
Yeah, maps are awesome.
like a bird.
Yeah.
That's why I love being up in an airplane, or even just flying over to the UK and get a window seat. And
Sure.
hopefully it won't be cloudy. You can you can see everything:
Yeah.
ships, whales, icebergs, glaciers.
Totally.
Go across
Mountains,
Ireland. Yeah,
volcanoes. Yeah.
I like
Yeah, it's pretty
that.
cool. For sure. I took a flight on my 40th birthday with my dad along the lakeshore. That was awesome. So we flew out of Sawyer over the top of the coast, pictured rocks,
Oh my gosh.
and then skipped over to the Keweenaw, and then down the peninsula a little bit on the south side until we doubled back over like Ishpeming, the Huron
Over
Peninsula,
to mine?
the Huron Peninsula,
Go
Ishpeming,
over to
yeah,
Tilden Empire Pit.
yeah,
It's a big hole.
huge,
I couldn't believe how one time flying out and we had to loop around there, and it's like, oh my God, look at it. It was like as far as you could see all around.
yeah. It's
So how long
wild.
did it take humans to dig a hole that big?
Well, we know actually. I
Our
suppose.
energy
decades.
slaves do the work
Decades.
nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool stuff.
I do. I love to see it. I even was in a helicopter after a helicopter veneer harvest one time.
Uh-huh.
They took me up for a ride, and it was so beautiful. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes to just float over the landscape and the watersheds and
Right.
the springtime hues of the different species of trees, like all the hardwoods coming out. Everybody's got a different shade of color.
Yeah.
I kind of like that better than the autumnal change because it's so subtle and it's not in your face. You know,
Uh-huh.
you can tell all the species too.
Right.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Help you see the resources.
Yeah. From the
Sure.
sky. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, you have to pick the right bark for the canoes, eh?
That's the rarest bird of all.
Lake was telling me that yeah, that's the toughest part of it, hey, and like when you find one, you make sure you can get it, or you store it even, because it's that important, hey.
Yeah, it keep well dry, and then you can soak them up and use them years later, as long as you keep, be nice to them, don't handle it, don't bust them up. They get brittle when they're dry. Yeah, you might look at 100 trees and then you decide, well, maybe I'll do a little test. And you might test 100 of them and say, oh, that's a keeper.
How do you test it?
I would cut out a little
Notch.
bitty triangle, just you want to get a little piece of bark and
Yeah.
manipulate it. And because first of all, you're reading the outside of it. That what you learn over time, what you're seeing, what that means. But really, you won't know the true serum because when you twist it, and then if it delaminates, then you can't make a boat out of bark that comes apart. It's like 75 layers of newspaper or something all bonded together.
Uh-huh.
That's useful in those layers. You got to have some of those tissue paper layers is useful for part of the construction of a boat, but you don't necessarily have to go look for that. You're going to find more than you want.
I was watching the 906 Outdoors episode on the birch bark canoe building, and it looked like you use those tissue layers for the inside to like patch the inside where the ribs are, hey?
Yeah.
Is that right?
So the main bark's about an eighth, quarter inch is be unbelievably thick.
Uh-huh.
And the thicker it is, the heavier the boat will be too. So if you were going to do a lot of portage, then but then the boat will wear out a little faster, but whatever. But then before the ribs or the planking and the ribs go in, make a batch of pitch that's very gooey, that doesn't harden up, have a lot of bare fat in it, say.
Uh-huh.
Don't even need charcoal in there. You don't need any microfiber. And then paint that in, at least up to the water line, if not up definitely behind the stitching and whatnot and all the gores.
Sure.
Paint that on as much as you can spare. You're adding a little weight, but you're making a self-healing canoe.
Mm-hmm.
Then lay the tissue layers on. So that way when the planking goes on, the ribs are put in under tension and pressure. You don't have pitch oozing up inside the boat. Your boat would weigh 1,000,000 pounds because all the sand that would stick to that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything would stick to it. That's an old trick. So then when your boat gets a little leak, you might bump it or something, the bark gets a little split, you could roll it over in the sun heats up that pitch under the bark, flows in. We had
Self-healing. You patch it at all with anything else?
If you have a serious
hole in
something,
your boat?
yeah, I've never had that happen, because we're paying attention, but we don't run rapids with bark boats,
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll self-heal the little stuff. The big ones, you might have to sew a patch on. And
Right.
back in the day, they didn't worry how they looked. They were pickup trucks. You bang your pickup truck around the woods when you work, and you can't worry about it.
Yeah.
You buy a new truck, the first thing you better do is go drive down that 2-track and get it all scratched up so you don't have to care anymore.
Yeah.
Same with your boat, man.
Upper pinstripes.
That's right. I wear my stripes proudly.
Yeah. Who taught you how to do this? I know you learned a lot of it on your own, but what do you attribute sort of?
Well, I'm from a long line of German woodworkers, families that worship trees and just were very reverent to forest, and oak trees in particular. That was the sacred tree. There's another whole story there, but that's part of the old religion, that wasn't lost, but it had to go underground.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, those genetics came through, so I inherited some hand tools and such, draw knives and chisels and whatnot, things like that, because they all made a living being wood carvers, working in shops, sort of having to do a sort of a little more urban kind of woodworking.
This was in your family?
Oh, yeah, they were the dean. My great-grandfather was the dean of the Detroit wood carving fraternity, did all the churches and mansions for all of nouveau riche forts and stuff like that.
Yeah, so your family's been at it for a while.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's and we, like I say, we pretty much are so reverent to trees and forests.
Uh-huh.
You don't just cut them. You have to have good reason for what you're going to cause some harm out there.
Yeah.
Because they're so important. They're people, They're just like us. They're just here making a living.
Off the earth.
That's right.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So that
So
really
that's the early history.
that made wood carving and the whole artistic expression thing be very easy.
Yeah.
Because I just grew up in a sea of that. But then, being a wild kid running around in the forest and doing all whatever you do when you're a kid. But then when I finally got to hang out with some elders who had native heritage, had been here for a zillion years.
Uh-huh.
Well, if you're a refugee in a place and you have some local folks willing to take you on board and show you the ropes, you'd better pay attention and do what it takes to learn all that and stay with them and be part of that. So and the price of admission was to learn the language. So with ceremonies and being the Skibewis, I was always the youngest one in the posse because they're all long gone now. They were like my age when I met them. And so,
what are their names?
Oh, gosh, would it be polite to say their names?
Up to you. I just was thinking it's nice to honor people that came before you, and if you don't want to, it's fine.
Well,
that's been kind of a theme.
Well, it was Grandma
Shout out
Key.
to Andy Bellinger for Two-Eyed Thinking, and that was her idea that she put into my head too. Is that's different, but she was just recently speaking with me about honoring the people that came before you, and we were kind of talking about that.
Well,
earlier too.
I'm easy with it too. I was just thinking about I spent a lot of time with Grandma Kiwi Denokwe on the Beaver Islands. She had a camp on Garden Island, summer camp. And then it's Larry Matrius. He was at Hannahville, but he's originally from further west over to St. Croix. And Joe McGuanaby, and he was a Dawa. So was Grandma Key, and Larry was a Ojibwe.
Anishinaabe.
Yeah, and in Bodewatami too. That's all Anishinaabe.
Yeah, that's Hannahville's Potawatomi, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, they were they were the people of the area of the Great Lakes, Upper Great Lakes.
Right.
Farmers in the south, traders. Adawa means to trade. So you have sort of village farmers, corn, beans, squash, tobacco. Tobacco is a great trade item because up here the agriculture is almost nothing. You have to roam around here to stay fed. So you're not really raising gardens so much in that way. There isn't really that great of dirt around here. So then you got the people who were like seafarers. They would travel from the farming villages in the southern lakes and be bringing up trade things, and then maybe bringing back things like deer hides and stuff, because I'm sure there wouldn't be that many deer around a village. So you need stuff for making your clothing, your shoes, and whatnot. So and then those middle people would live on the islands, and then the Odawas were on the islands, the big rivers, stuff like that, because they were really canoe people. That, as far as like they made a living by making the big boats. They were probably the first people to make some of the bigger canoes to be into hauling.
How many people?
Good question. Yeah.
How many would they carry?
I don't know. It depends on
How many could you fit in one of the canoes that you're thinking about?
Well, our biggest one we've ever made was a 26-footer, and it's just as far as people go. God, you could stuff that. You could fit a dozen or more in there, I bet. But generally speaking, though, you'd probably have 4 paddlers and then maybe a literal ton of stuff.
Cargo.
Yeah. So if you were doing that, doing runs back and forth between the upper and lower lakes, and then you can keep out of that things you wouldn't have to hunt and fish so much. You could probably trade for a lot of those products with the things that you made for your journey.
Sure.
Yeah. And you're seafaring people. They were good.
Great Lakes region.
Oh.
Water everywhere.
And then when the Frenchies came, then they added a whole nother layer of names, and they were like monetizing the fur trade.
The fur trade, yeah. They basically, like Hudson Bay Company, First Corporation.
Well, that was when
Largest-
the English took over.
Yeah.
That was after the French lost.
Right. I was just thinking about the canoes because Jack Dale's got photos of canoes with HBC on the.
Yes, they
on
were the
nose of
last ones to
canoe, yeah, the bow of the boat.
last ones to pay for that. Because they would hire local natives to, they were the craft workers. They were the best to be doing that. And they would even have factories, like the places, you see some of the old names. I've been to Moose Factory. Well, the factory was, actually, the guy in charge was called the factor. And then the factory, they would be making boats, and the goods would be coming in on a ship usually be on a river mouth where a ship can come in from England once a year, or France.
Yeah.
The French stuff was through Montreal. The English did it through Hudson's Bay.
Sure. That makes sense.
After they won that one, that's the story of Upper Canada.
Right.
Where the French, with Montreal, Three Rivers was the big canoe factory there. And that's where the big boats came out of. And then the little smaller, they would do the Great Lakes and the big rivers. But then once you get in smaller water, boats would be having to shrink. You could be 36 foot or so big water, then down to 30, maybe a 26-footer like we built would be, go up a medium-sized river. But once you start getting into, you can go all the way to Arctic Ocean. You can go all the way to Pacific. It's...
Yeah. I like canoeing.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Sure beats driving a truck.
Yeah. I love paddling. I like canoeing better than I like kayaking for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm a hauler.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to have, I mean, I live out of the boat. If you're backpacking and kayaking, you have to have all this ultralight stuff, real teeny weeny light things.
Mm-hmm.
A canoe, I can have my
Totally.
kettles and my shotgun.
You can haul a lot. Yeah.
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 My
It's
whole
really
family can
convenient.
be in the boat.
I like being on top of the boat rather than in it.
That's a good point.
That's what I like about canoeing. I was thinking about
Though
it.
the boats, the way boats are, canoes originally set up, you sit on the floor.
Did you? Yeah. I
You know,
like
and
to see.
if you're working real hard, you'd be up on your knees, going through the rapids and stuff. But for the
Mm-hmm.
most part, it's not like I'm working for the Voyager guy and those guys just got to paddle all day, 12, 14, 15 hours a day.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's like a galley
That's
slave,
so
and
tiring.
then you got to sleep in the bugs at night.
Oh my God.
Whereas it would be much nicer if I was just going to take my family into winter camp. We're going to go to our river.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Pleasure cruise.
Anyway, I'd probably have a small bunch of boats. It'd be a dozen of us or more. Grandma, Uncle Louie, all the
Yeah.
kids. They'd all be coming. So then you keep your older boats, your smaller boats, your what they were called work boats. And then when the Europeans came, they would call them hunting boats, fishing boats. But that was just called work.
Right.
Terrible work. Nice work if you can get it.
Yeah.
And so you probably keep your old boat and give it to your teenage son so he can go visit the girls sitting the camper in the islands.
Like
out there.
people give their vehicles, their older vehicles to their kids. Yeah.
My auntie gave me her old car, it was that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Sort of keep the American social life ticking
Right.
over. Yeah,
Right.
that works.
Yeah. Do you enjoy making boats?
It's fabulous work.
Yeah.
It's the most challenging woodworking I've ever run into, and I do it all. I don't do power tools or anything, but as far as log cabins, just taking the logs and making a house out of that, or a timber frame, you could hew them and joinery and all that. Bows, arrows, snowshoes, whatever, all the things that it takes to have a life up here,
Yeah.
and you can do with a few of your metal tools.
You want to take a look at a couple right now?
We could.
Let's look
But
at them.
I'll say one thing, to a canoe, there's not a straight line in it. It's the sexiest thing you've ever built in your life.
Yeah.
And it's all split out of the most beautiful bits of wood. Every piece is perfect grain end to end, even your gunnel assembly. 6 pieces as long as your boat. So, I'm splitting 20-foot logs into 2x2s and then shaving them down into 1.5 by whatever,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just stimulating. Splitting wood, splitting it to be 1/16 of an inch, splitting 50 miles of spruce roots to stitch it all up. Victoria
God.
does that.
It's a lot of roots.
Yeah, you learn about whatever. It's,
And the roots are for the lashings, eh?
yes.
Yeah. What, how do you make the color on the gunnels?
Don't.
Oh, the designs then. How do you make the designs, the gunnels with the designs, or like what did Mark?
Oh,
Mark do?
I get some pigments, and
Okay.
if people want,
Like diamonds and stuff. eh?
yeah. I got different ideas for my own boats or whatever. But most people, they just, make it a little more festive. You see a lot of the old boats with the remnants of pigments on there, and especially once the French came, and then once they understood that the ends of the boats are the billboard for the people in the boat. So you know who's coming just by the profile on the horizon.
Yeah.
So you know whether to put the kettle on or get the shotgun. Right, you're your own police department too. Never mind cafeteria. So the French, when they finally cottoned on to that, then they made these big flamboyant ends that they could paint. It's like, we're coming to town, They would shoot their guns off when they come around the point up
Oh,
in the
geez.
air, and
Yeah.
it's party time.
Yeah.
We got a barrel of booze, and we're going to trade for all of your favorite things. We just
I don't know if that's how I would feel if someone came around the corner in a canoe with a shotgun and they're
well,
just
but if you got the right billboard though.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you're advertising.
Yes.
I guess. Yeah.
Because that's exactly what that means.
Uh-huh.
So you can look at all the old photos of the end of the boat.
Could be a scheme though. Could be
There are
naughty.
games to play
Could be
there. Oh yeah,
Hey, we're nice. Boo.
you have to be
All
your
of a
own
sudden the
army
gun turns
too.
on you.
There's no army to call on. It's just you
Right.
and your brother and your Uncle Louie and Dad.
Yeah.
You're the local army.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, all the games. You gotta pay attention.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the day. What I say, those days when everybody was badass in a good sort of way.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, that's debatable. Some were worse than others. Let's
Yes.
look at those tools. Let's take a look at those things. You got the
There's the
what's-
main.
Yeah,
the
that
main guy.
axe is awesome.
This
Hatchet,
is the main
axe.
tool for everything. You're
The weight on
put
it is
on the
so
wood here?
sure.
Yeah, this is a basic. This is made in Norway, or Sweden rather. But yeah, they still have some of the old patterns, that aren't mass produced like in China now for hardware stores. But this is the real deal for a tool for felling trees. Nothing big. You don't need big stuff when you're living in the woods. You don't need to bother with a big tree. We don't make dugout canoes. But that gets your trees down, or whatever it is. Like I say, splitting up things for making a toboggan or whatever that might be. And you got your little oilskin bag. Keep your tools going.
Sure. Yeah, the weight on this thing's awesome.
Yeah.
What'd you say this brand was? You were naming it earlier.
Oh, Grants
Grants
for
for-
Bruck, or I don't know how they say it over there.
Brandon knows this brand too, eh?
Yeah.
Knows this one? Yeah.
They ain't cheap, but you ain't gonna wear it out.
Are you sharpening
I use a file.
it? Okay. That makes sense.
So this is the crook knife. This in old days, this would be well, it was literally called crook knife, but also a man's knife, because if pretty much every adult male is going to have to know how to make all these things, make handles for your knife, or your knives, your axes, all this stuff.
Is this originally from Germany then?
No, local blacksmith Gordon made that.
No, but the knife, that design.
No, this is local. This is
That design is local.
Nishnabek, as far as I know. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah. I really don't know the details of that, but this is exactly what everybody had one of these.
That's the one too that you bring with you in your.
Yeah, you want to have all these things here. And there's some sharpening stones and a file in there too.
Okay. So these are just the tools.
If you're
here.
doing a big canoe trip in the bush, or actually I like to do it anytime, I would take all this kit. You could make another paddle.
Speaking of which, we got a couple paddles here.
Yeah, I made those. Same stuff.
Yeah.
So this is okay. This is like a branch growing out of a tree trunk.
Lift it up a little bit so you can see on the screen there. Yeah, there you go.
It's like that there, and then you carve it to fit your hands like this.
Bring it up. Yeah. There you go.
There we
Blam.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Oh yeah, you brought this piece of cedar. I've just been using it as a toothpick.
okay, here's your. So if you're a nomadic woodworker, which everybody was back in the day, in this part of the world, then this is your draw knife. Whereas if you have a shop, you can have a 200 draw knife. You can wear out both arms same time, so you can work twice as long. This way here, you're gonna have to rest your arm because you're gonna work it hard. This hand is the clamp, and you train. You don't let your elbow go past that point.
Did you ever hit yourself?
No.
Nice.
My coat's got a lot of little cuts there.
Oh, so you have hit yourself.
I've never-
It's just you've had leather or something that's protected.
Well, my hoodie always
Yeah.
has holes in the pockets. But with this tool and then the curved tip here, you can use the hollow out things, if there's not, so you can make your bowls, so your family has bowls.
It's like a file.
This is an old file.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a high carbon piece, and you let it shape it and all that. So you want that, and then of course just a straight woodworking knife, which is used.
So pick knife.
Yeah, because there's just a lot of fiddling, Morris and tenon and whatnot.
Yep.
And then you can also use it to make bigger holes.
Make a hole, yeah.
And to make the little holes and have all the holes in the bark. Jan Zender made that.
Cool.
and this is square and cross section, and you file it so it's relatively sharp on the edges, and you.
Does
It's
it make
nice to have
holes?
the little crook in it, so when you pull it out, you don't just yank the handle off. But all the holes and pile. I use this. I mean, these things live in my carpenter kit. Even if I gotta fix somebody's deck, just to make pilot holes where you're drilling.
Right.
That
Yeah,
kind
that
of
makes
thing.
sense. And the holes are where you're using lashing and
In the canoe, yes.
bringing the birch bark together, or lashing ribs.
Ribs are held in with tension.
Right.
Yeah.
The gunnels are
Yeah.
obviously lashed.
Yeah. You're actually making a basket. Gunnel assembly's got 3 pieces, in whale, out whale, and gunnel cap in each side. So you got 6 end-to-end pieces in the boat, and those are fastened together with pegs. And then that's stitched on, and the bark's all stitched to that in this big wiggly shapes like a alligator hide. And then you won't find out if all of that was done correctly until the very end when you put the planking in. Now you got your ribs, you're going to cut those to fit, and you fit those in with tension. And at the end of the day, you might have a boat that's sexy, or it might be something that's like, wow, that's going in the kindling pile.
Have you thrown boats away?
No, thankfully not. But I could see if I would have done one when I was 18, when I first started, that would have been a kindling boat for sure.
Right.
But I didn't.
It wouldn't have been seaworthy.
I was already well on that skill path. I was already, I don't know, 40 years old probably before I really sunk my teeth into going to make a real boat this time.
Wow.
And so then those all worked after that.
Okay.
You get a little better, of course, but whatever.
It took you that long to make your first real boat. You had the idea at 16 and your first one was at 40.
Basically, yeah.
Wow.
Well, those are not easily gained skills.
Totally.
You can't.
That's why
You can't
I'm
just teach them.
Surprised because
People can watch you, but
Yeah.
you got to get in there and learn how to make razor sharp edges. You got to get cut. You're going to have to find a perfect wood, or it's fussy.
Yeah.
It's very fussy,
Yeah.
but that's what makes it so rewarding.
How many have you made?
No,
What'd you guess?
That's my sweetie pie. She keeps track of that.
The light's really in
I
the
don't
window.
A couple dozen or something.
It's like the moon. Yeah. A couple dozen.
I don't know, something like that. I got a friend who's made like 85 of them. He lives in an area where there's a lot more money than where we live. But his boats are, they're real show pieces. You wouldn't necessarily
Some of the stuff
Wanna
you
take
make,
'em
man,
fishing.
is pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, but if you look
I
at
think, yeah.
all the boats in the
Yeah.
museums, you weren't worried. Like I'm saying, these are pickup trucks, so
Yeah.
they're gorgeous. But if you look at them real close, it's like
Sure.
it was.
Sure.
It's like we got to get her done, man. We got to get going. I'm getting hungry.
Are you Are you still improving
Yeah,
on your process?
always
Always.
constant. Yeah.
What's like the thing that you're working on right now where you're just like,
Oh, just
Getting
the,
it
the
right,
most
just dialing
challenging
it
thing
in.
would be to find better wood and to get better at splitting it so that your splits don't run out. You look at a piece of wood. Well, where do you put the knife or your blade or splitting piece? Like if I want to split,
When
you
you're
can
knocking
you can
it,
only split wood in
split
two.
yeah.
You can't. You can only split in half. Was what I mean. You can't like take a third off or something because it's the tension of the wood being forced apart has to be exactly equal or it's going to run
So you're always having it.
constantly. That's the challenge. You're crawling around inside the split when you got big logs
Yeah.
like that. And you,
Yeah.
you got to pay attention because if your splitting tool pops out and your hand's in there, yeah, you got a lot of that wood still has a huge amount of strength. It's going to be like a mousetrap.
I've been absolutely smashed by wood
Yes.
under tension.
If you're just splitting firewood, it's going to happen.
Yeah. I got hit right here building a trail just recently.
I broke my nose last winter. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Not fun.
Oh,
I hate getting hit.
made a mess in the snow, man. When my sweetie come back home with the grandkids in the yard's just red with mud.
Did you get a deer?
Right now, no deer, dude.
Yeah.
Just me.
Yeah. That's funny. Very cool. Are we going to look at some assets from the photos on the website? Let's take a look at some canoes that you've built.
That's
Right there.
That's
Blam.
my boat. That was we got to keep
what we're
one
talking
boat out
about.
of all these, and we saved all the odds and ends from a bunch of boats that we made for other people, and then when we finally got enough and we didn't get a canoe order, we can only really do one of summer. Mm-hmm. So we put together our own boat. So it's made out of all what you might call rejects, but the boat was just fine. It didn't leak for almost 20 years. I mean, and when it did leak, it was just a little wet spot.
That's incredible.
Ain't it though? Well, when Mark did his,
And it's made of nothing but natural materials you've collected from the forest.
it's all hand stuff.
And by hand.
And eyeball, you find it and learn it. And so when Mark made the 18-footer that we designed, and that was basically an Anishinaabe design, but we modified some things because he's going to be doing some big water. So it was,
He went across Canada in that boat?
he went all the way up to Lake Athabasca and then all the way back down from Lake Superior, then Athabasca, and then down the east side of the Rockies to able to hop over 13-mile portage to
How do
Columbia.
you do that? On a vehicle?
I think they had
haul
their
that.
sweetie pies come with
Yeah.
pickup trucks, and they went on a honeymoon. And
Yeah, you don't do that by person unless
Well, yeah, you
you've got
do.
a
There was a
football
60-mile
team.
portage from the Montreal River to the Wisconsin River that fur traders use regularly.
That is
I just read that a couple weeks ago.
wild.
And that guy I was telling you,
That must take days.
oh yeah, and all the freight.
It takes days.
That's what you pay the men for. That's what voyageurs do.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, if you just want to carry a canoe for days, that you could.
But it gets you. We can go to New Orleans now,
Yeah.
and we go from the Sioux to New Orleans.
You've done that?
There's your ticket. That's what. No,
You're saying like
I don't know
back
if
in
I'd
the
want
day,
to go
right?
down there nowadays,
Yeah.
but whatever. I'd love to do that, but I mean, that's
Yeah.
be an adventure. But that's, yeah. I mean, everybody around here knew about everybody else because you got transportation, baby. Mm-hmm. You can go anywhere if you got time.
Right. That was the reason you were saying that you needed it, is because it was your transportation.
Yeah.
And
Better,
like if you're,
sure.
it's better. I mean,
Sure
same with
beats
skis.
walking.
I would argue similar with skis in winter.
Oh, of
Like-
course. Well, skis are for traveling. Snowshoes are for working. Like
Okay,
if I
I
run
buy
a
that.
trap line,
Yeah.
I'm on snowshoes,
Yeah,
even though I'm
totally.
going far.
Yeah. Right.
Because you're backing in and out.
Yeah,
and
there's a
stuff
use
like
for
that.
them for sure. I'm not big on snowshoes. It's like kayaking for me. I prefer skiing,
Yeah.
moving on skis. It's just
But I make a whole network of snowshoe trunk roads leading out from camp. Mm-hmm. And then, so I haul all the firewood in the winter. Everything heavy. Timbers, firewood, boards, whatever it is. Everything, haul it in the winter.
yeah,
It slides on ice. It's going to be way easier than a wheelbarrow or your shoulder or something like that.
right. That's how they moved logs
Yeah.
back in the day. Still do. Well, not really, but
Yeah, I
They
mean,
would
that's
sled 'em out,
stuff.
eh?
I bring stuff out of the mountains that way, put a big split of oak, 18-foot thing, tie it on the toboggan, have
Sure.
somebody with a rope on the back end of the log holding on.
hold on for your life.
Don't let go. I'm gonna die down here.
Yeah,
You're gonna take me out like a bowling pin.
yeah. What do you? We're looking at the paddles there again. There's another one.
That's
say you
the
paint them?
day I finished it.
Okay,
That's our boat, brand new.
you still got that boat? That's your
No,
boat.
someone, when you're this hungry, someone offers you some money for your boat. It's
Sure.
hanging up in a canoe livery
That one right there.
on the Shenandoah River. It's a really cool guy come up, created this biz back in the day. He was like 80 years old. And he's got like a boutique kind of canoe livery where he's got his own campground, a day's travel down the river. This is outside of Washington, D.C.,
Yeah.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lovely biz going there, and he's made a living off it all his life. Anyhow, he wanted something to hang up to show off, and he loved a beat up old boat. It was black inside with fish and blood and gack, and, broken parts all stitched back on.
He liked that aesthetic.
Yes, he even bought the paddles because they're all worn out and beat up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I give it a little facelift. I even give it, redid some of the colors on it and stuff, or brighten it up a little bit.
Interesting.
He loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, how do people find out how to purchase them and learn about them and decide they want one? Like, I was just thinking
Well, I
about
would
the
do
fish
a bunch
guts
of
again.
homework first. I'd look at Adney and Chappelle's book. Edwin Tappan Adney. He went around 150 years ago and recorded all the last of the boats that he could find here and there, all everywhere, anywhere there were bark boats to be found. And eventually he went into skin boats and measured them in a way like a marine architect would with lines and drawings, and that's how we know a lot of the old styles, especially the ones, say, even in the fur trade too, because no one kept records, who cared about it? Everybody knew about it. So nobody kept records, that was all lost. And they lost the war. So the English probably burned all that stuff. But then that you learn then, like, for example, you see our boat there, it doesn't have the long nose on it. Well, that tells you
it's got a stub nose kind of short.
Yeah, well, it
shorter
doesn't
on the
catch
ends.
as much wind, but
Right.
so that boat there would be from, say, from here east, because there was no wild rice much in that direction. If anywhere where you have a lot of rice paddies, where you spend a lot of time racing, it's a big part of your diet.
Yeah.
You have a long nose parting through the paddy, much better. And then also, if you were making it a boat that you lived in that area, you probably wouldn't have a middle thwart. You would have more, leave a space in the middle, open for bending the rice over to beat the grain out of it.
In the boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's your harvesting method.
Sure.
You wait for it to get to the shattering kind of
Yeah.
phase.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a half model.
On top of the.
Yeah. The same boat,
Other one.
everything's just completely, we do quarter models too,
Yeah.
which is another one that sits on that. You probably come across a picture. You can see that's before we did the pitching on the bottom one.
Oh yeah. Right.
that?
The pitching is on
So
the
you can
top.
see the
top one.
piece bark. You need a base. The biggest bark does the body of it, and then you can add a nice piece on either end where the stitcher gets to show off their handiwork.
Sure.
With the sort of fancy stitching that goes around the end. That's a signature kind of thing.
Yeah. And is that similar, like related to what you were saying about how people know who's coming?
Well, you wouldn't necessarily see the stitching in a profile.
Okay.
You would see the profile of the end. But when you come up close and you see the stitching, say, "Oh, I know those girls. they did. Yeah, that's Mama so and so."
Yeah.
Because that would be her style,
Right.
and so that's Victoria's style. She worked out a little signature that works with the structure
Probably
of
have
bark.
some more. Yeah. There you go.
There they are. See, there's no pitch. You see the lashing along the front there.
Yep.
You see the reinforcing.
Oh, so you're saying as far as lashing along the front and no pitch being like that's not finished yet and you still have to cover that front. Like
Yeah.
the top one is already done, but the bottom one still needs.
It doesn't get any more stitching. That gets covered
No.
and pitched. Where
Right.
the top part there, that's the signature piece in there.
For sure. I was thinking about like the top canoe and how it's pitched already.
Yeah.
There's the black on there. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That bottom boat still needs it. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And I love the pitch because it's made so crazily.
It's what they used to call it. That's where the word dope comes from.
Tell us about the pitch. So
Okay,
you
so-
cook this stuff up.
Well, first you got
and
to
there's
get
how
the
many
pitch.
ingredients? There's like bear fat in there.
I know, you could almost eat it.
Wild. Yeah.
So you got to. We live in a spruce forest primarily, so I walk around, find there's always knobs of pitch from there's some kind of what we call pitch worms, like a caterpillar. It's probably a beetle larva or something, boring in, irritating the tree, living off of the sugars and the sap. I don't know how you make a living off that, but that's not my business. But there would be a big globs of it. So I go around and pry those off and collect all those.
Are they hard?
Some of them are soft. Some of
Yeah.
them are real soft.
Uh-huh.
If it's real runny, it's just going to be
Gooey and yeah.
Yeah. So, I hang a can or something around my neck and get some little implement or axe head or something. And then get a ton of that. I make, take a piece of, you can boil it different. There's different ways to do it, but I take a piece of burlap, put a bunch of, heat up put all that pitch in there, those globs, heat it up so and then pour it into the burlap and there'll be tons of crap in there.
Uh-huh.
Fold that up like an envelope and then clamp the ends and twist it.
Wring it out.
Like a Spanish windlass and do that over a tray.
You're wringing it out.
Looks like caramel coming out. And just keep doing that till you can't get any more out and eventually it cools off. It's really hot. You got to pay attention.
Sure.
It's hot. It's pine tar.
Yeah.
So anyhow, you do that enough and you'll need you would like to have a gallon for a boat, but you could get by with a little less depending on the size of the boat.
Yeah.
So now that's all strained. Bust that up or whatever, whatever state it's in. If it gets cold, it's easy to bust out of the pan. And it's like hard crack or whatever they call that stuff now. Heat that up, and then you got to keep testing it. Add a little bear fat. Add a bunch of powdered hardwood charcoal. And there's your microfiber, and it increases the volume of pitch, but it also puts all those tiny little microfibers in. This is Stone Age resin technology. So that the pitch then over time on the exterior of the boat will tend to chalk off like a good paint does, which is superior to other, just cracking off in big chunks.
It's dusting.
Yeah, you'll notice it. It'll even whiten up a lot like that. And then, so the bits of fat, you're just a little bit. You got to be careful with the fat, or it's going to be too runny.
Yeah.
So depending on what time of year, what's the intended use of the boat. If this is going to be like for fall trapping, hunting, then it's going to be colder weather. You want softer pitch, so it doesn't shatter on impact.
Sure.
Because it's temperature sensitive, the
Sure.
viscosity, because it's pitch. It's always flowing.
So let me get this straight. So you're building your pitch recipe based on
Intended use.
intended use in terms of temperature
Yes.
and season.
Yes.
And you use certain boats during certain seasons based
Well,
on
you would probably
the
have them
pitch.
cached in certain places too,
Uh-huh.
away from the porcupines, because they're going to want to get at all that
Bear
nice
fat.
fish blood, bear, you name it.
Are they
It's-
going after the pitch? Do they eat the pitch? Bear fat.
They're going to
that's-
probably go for salty gunnels and then also dried blood and all of the ribs. The inside of the boats, they
Yeah.
turn black with age, just from all the, I'm just heaving
Use.
dead critters in there. Yeah. All that, never mind cans of beer and stuff like that. So if you're going to use a boat like for summer travel, yeah, we all get patina with age in our boats too.
Yeah.
So the summer one, you would use less bear fat so that it's a little bit harder, because if you got the canoe on the roof of the truck and you're in the parking lot running into the grocery store, the pitch is going to heat up and run off. And if you have too much bear fat in it, it's going to run off without, it doesn't even need the sun. So the charcoal in it, making it black, as well as being somewhat of a fashion statement. I imagine once after someone figured out, everybody did it. But it also absorbs heat faster from the sun. So you can roll your boat over. If you got a little crack or something in that pitch line, a gore or seam or what it might, you can get that warmed up and start molding it into that spot.
Yeah.
You don't even need to make a birch bark torch or anything like that, or get your electric hair dryer out.
Yeah.
There's a modern way of doing that. And move that in, or you can even pull off a chunk here, because I tend to put a lot on, so it's kind of like a reserve of pitch.
You have excess. So
you can
use
carry a
it
little
elsewhere.
pot around, but you're going to have to put that on a fire. I'm just talking about doing it on the side of the river so we can keep going.
Yeah.
Take that and, squish it down on a spot there, and let the sun heat that up nice. It'll get all shiny again, and now we're good to go.
Yeah. How often are you doing repairs? Like, how often do you
Almost
need to
never.
fix?
In the springtime,
boat?
the winter is usually tough. The change of temperatures and everything, you'll tend to get splits in the pitch. So in the springtime,
Right.
you'll do the heat treatment so everything flows back in nicely, and then you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it, really.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had to do anything other than that over 20-year lifespan of that boat.
Yeah.
Maybe someday you might have to redo it. One time I had the bright idea, because remember, that was the first boat I got to keep. I want to see how they wear out. So after 20 years, I thought, I want to knock all that pitch off and put some new pitch on. What a great idea. That was so hard to get it to be waterproof again after I did that.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I saved all the pitch and redid it all and added some more and applied it to the boat. But first time, that was the best bonding. It was the easiest. You know, I would, like I say, I would never recommend doing that again. But
Yeah.
you know, that's how you learn.
Yeah.
I like learning the hard way. I don't forget.
That's a good, yeah. What do they say? Experience is the mother of learning, or something like
It's
that.
the only. Everything else is a story about learning. And it might get you closer to the actual learning, but you won't learn until you have experienced something. That's how I think. One's a story of it, and the other's actually it. So the true strength comes from getting your hands dirty.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a strong proponent of learning by doing, however you want to say it, through experience, with like education, you know, classrooms and what they do and how they operate, and being an instructor, a teacher, an educator. And anytime I've ever, not ever, a lot of times, most of the time, I'll say most of the time, learning outside of the classroom or actively inside the classroom is what is the strongest for like retention, you know, kids, and like getting kids outside doing things is the bee's knees.
That's why we homeschooled our boys.
Yeah.
Just to,
Right. Yeah. 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 You raised a family in the Northwoods.
and your life has all of your calisthenics, your exercise built in.
Right.
So I don't have to.
I think about that
I've
often.
never had to think about working out to stay in shape because I'm, sitting too much or something.
When you are working and working out, that's where it's at. Like if you're doing something and it's exercising your body rather than having to go to the gym, I take that.
I know people say, well, how do you get arms
100
like
times
that? When you
over.
go to the gym, I say, no, man. I say, make all your own home fuel.
Yeah.
Cooking, heating, do it yourself. And haul all the water you use in the house in buckets and with your arms.
Yeah.
Well,
You're going to have muscles.
start there. Yeah, you're going to be in great shape. You're going to think about where the water comes from, too.
Uh-huh. Right.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother layer.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
leeches, got giardia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's another hobby. It's getting water. I love it. Go down to the river and
Yeah.
get a couple buckets of water, sit back, and who doesn't like to be on the riverbank,
Sure.
water pouring down?
Babbling brook.
Yes.
Yeah. Bathing is sauna.
Yes, all winter.
Yeah.
Twice a week at least.
Yeah. Otherwise, summer river.
Yeah, daily jump in the water somewhere.
Yeah.
Swimming hole,
Yeah. Swimming hole.
trout stream. You won't spend too much time in there. It's like Lake Superior in there.
Totally. Yeah.
But the inland lakes are glorious.
Yeah.
Top 5 feet.
Who's this working on the boats?
Oh, that's me and Jan working on the boat that went to a museum in St. Joseph, Michigan.
Oh, wow.
And he went down there to see it again, and they couldn't find it.
Oh, interesting. It's gone. Where is it? Someone's got
No.
the boat.
It's-
That's a mystery.
yeah, wasn't in the warehouse either.
Huh.
Go figure. I don't
How
know.
long ago was this that he went back down there to look?
Oh gosh, this might have been 10 years ago. He told me that story.
It's been gone for a while.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
That boat is somewhere.
And
Who's got that boat? That's kind of interesting.
the international trade and
I mean, that's
Birch
pretty
bark
cool
boats,
mystery. I mean, it's not cool that someone is not in the museum anymore. That's
maybe
that's lame
high-low
as
ran
heck.
it over. Or who knows? You know,
Yeah,
who knows? It's,
yeah.
yeah. The museums like that.
That's a pretty photo.
There's launching day with our boat. It just looks so pretty. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I had just finished.
I love the
pitching
ribs
job.
on that. Hey, like look at the ribs.
50 ribs in that design there.
That's so cool.
That makes it a real hauler. You know, it makes it heavier to portage.
Structurally quite good.
I wanted something I could beat on. You know, it only weighs about 60, 70 pounds, so it's just like a modern plastic boat. I mean, you can portage it quite easily.
Yeah.
You could probably shave 20, 30 pounds off it, but it would be a much more fragile craft, a shorter lifespan.
Yep,
But
yep,
then you
trade-off.
could carry it,
Yeah.
you know, lake after lake
Uh-huh.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love looking at them. They're so sexy.
They're very pretty, for sure.
Yeah, it's really. I love to sit in the back of the boat. My sweetie pie sitting in front, and I have all these curves in the boat. Finishing off with my sweetie pie in the front, man. As I could do this all day long.
Yeah.
How good is that?
Cool.
Even the paddles don't have any straight lines. You see,
Let's take a look at them quick.
you see these here. I've looked at a lot of paddles over the years, and
This is a single piece of wood.
yeah, that one's birch. That
Yeah.
was a hardwood. Somebody wanted a hardwood paddle, and this one is spruce, so it's a bit lighter. And I make it so that it flexes evenly from tip to tip. You know, and that way, like when you stressing the paddle, it's not going to break automatically just in the middle where your hand is.
Yeah.
Like a lot of paddles if they're just a straight shaft. So this here, like I say, it's strongest in the center where you apply the most strength. The same as a bow. It's just, I think it's like making a bow, I suppose, except it's not as fussy. Bow is 9/10 broken at full draw. But the other thing with this, I like the idea since I paddle without taking the paddle out of the water. You know, paddle for whatever, a long time on one side, and then when you get tired, switch. He doesn't. And that way you always have control of the boat where it's facing.
Yeah.
And especially in heavy weather, you're really focused on each wave coming in. So with a paddle that has this distinctive shape like this, I can grab it anywhere, and I automatically know the orientation of the blade
Sure.
just from the feel of
The
it.
way that the paddle feels
Yeah.
in your
And it's narrowest where
Bottom hand.
that
Yeah.
goes through the surface of the water. So
Yeah.
you can paddle the quietest too if you're sneaking up on game or whatever. You're just trying to be quiet.
I like the hold on this one, how
Yeah.
wide it is.
That way,
but,
shapes-
but
it's like
narrow.
the- it's like the inside of your hand.
The shape of it is just beautiful. Yeah.
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 And since with the traditional boat sitting on the floor, you don't need the paddle to be so long as if there never was seats in a boat
Right.
until
Yeah, you
Europeans
mentioned that.
came, and then the rich guys sat in the middle and they didn't paddle. They had seats,
Wow.
and they even carried them ashore so they didn't get their feet wet.
That's ridiculous.
Well, how hungry are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like me selling my boat. Man.
Yeah.
It's like, I
yeah,
can make another one
suppose,
here.
hey?
You want it?
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
I'm guiding. I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah.
You take people around, like, that's what you're doing. Yeah. Cool. What do you use to make these different colors?
It's just pigments.
Yeah.
I've inherited jars of pigments from my grandfather's shop,
Okay.
and I mix them up with maybe a little gluey stuff, fish glue, hide glue, Elmer's glue, whatever.
Any wood glue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paint that on, and I like to oil things afterwards a little bit, especially
Sure.
the canoes don't get any oiling or nothing, but the paddles spend all their time like that in the
What do you
water.
use for oil?
Oh, just I need a penetrating like Watco oil. How about you can just get that at the hardware store? You know, it goes in and polymerizes a little bit. So you don't. I mean, traditionally you don't do anything to your paddles.
Yeah.
But I just trying to get, you know, I got a foot in both worlds, so I try to make things last longer. I can't just go ahead and make it a brand new one because I still got to make some money doing other stuff to keep the truck going or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you do both.
Yeah.
Keeps you busy.
I mean,
And in Victorian, I have different color schemes too, so you can just grab the
See
paddle without
easy.
having to see the length of it.
sure. That makes sense.
You know, sort of male, female ideas.
Yeah. Very
Black and
cool.
red's my colors. That's be my signature colors.
Black and red.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this could be powdered charcoal and this can be iron ore. Or even the red LJ out of the mineral springs that we get. So you can get ochre from that
Yeah.
quite easily.
Yeah.
So I like to be able to get everything myself.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like you're saying about the oil, normally it wouldn't even have it because
Right. Well, if you put it in, you'd only have animal oil.
What would it be?
And
Like,
animal oil will make that a porcupine toothpick.
yep.
So we're not going there.
Yeah. You're not gonna coat it in bear fat.
No, we're not going there. And bear fat is very precious. Cooking, it's like it's your carbohydrate.
Yeah.
Unless you have wild rice, what kind of carbs can you get where I live? There aren't.
Eating spruce roots.
Acorns. Yeah, right. There isn't really any carbs. So
Yeah.
fat and bear fat, beaver, porcupine, raccoon. Bear would be the best.
Yeah.
Bear and coon have
Yeah.
the best oil.
Yeah.
And then to make all your salves for your medicines, like Victoria, instead of using olive oil or whatever, almond oil, different things she might use,
Yeah.
it'd all be done in bear fat for your salves and liniments like that.
Oh, you put it right on.
Yeah. And you would make little bags of that to, you know, be part of your medicine bag, and you'd
Yeah.
have your salve in there, and, you know,
I guess that makes sense.
sure.
You're using bear fat to
You have to
make
be your own doctor too.
cream. Yeah.
Your
yeah.
own nurse.
Yeah. Of course. That's what's the name of the the Victoria's business there?
Wilderness herbs.
Wilderness Herbs.
And Ishpeming birch bark canoes for
Yep.
the canoe biz.
This is great. We can give some shout outs here. We can wrap things up, and any other like things
Closing
you want to
remarks?
say or like
Lead me
let
up.
let people know about.
Inhabit your you'll
Okay.
you'll be poor schmuck. You won't know what a podcast is. You won't know how to use it. But we'll never have a dull minute, and it's just lovely to be in the dream, so to speak. I'm inhabiting it. I'm doing all the things I've ever wanted to do. I'm getting better and better at them. What more are you going to ask for in a life? My sweetie pie's still with me. She loves it.
Yeah.
She surrendered into that. And when she saw where I wanted to live, she goes, "Let's do it."
Yeah. Yeah. Finding someone like that's pretty special.
Yeah.
For sure. Cool, John. Well, I think that's the first time actually I said your name this entire episode. People are just going to have to know by looking at the title and description, but appreciate you coming in, man. This was fun.
Oh, it's all right. I love to talk.